What's going on, guys and gals of the internet? So today we're going to start this video off with the Rescue Ranger. So we get about 600 comments on a daily basis, it seems like now, and it's hard to get back to every one of them, but I'm trying to the best I can. However, a lot of the comments are the same questions over and over, and don't get me wrong, that's completely fine. It's just hard to address every one of those when they're the same thing, because you read 4 or 5 and then you realize that those comments are all about the same thing that's currently going on, and so you answer 1 or 2, and then the rest of them are also the same comment. It's the same question, pretty much, just reworded. And one that I've been getting a lot of here lately is, what happened to my Junkyard Rescue Ford Ranger? Here it is. And actually, let me start that off with, I bought the cheapest Ford Ranger. No, I'm sorry, wrong channel. We're going to show you the quirks and features. That's not the right channel either. We'll just make our own. How about that? So, as soon as I find a good spot and start filming, wouldn't you know, some guy behind me in a camper is firing up his pressure washer or generator or whatever it is that he's got on board. And that's perfectly fine. This is a public place, so he can do whatever he wants, and I can't do anything about it. So if you could bear with me through this, and we'll do the best we can to keep it as sweet and short and simple and yada yada yada. So let's get to it. So this is my 1988 Ford Ranger STX Package truck, and like I said, we bought this truck from the Scrapyard. It's technically a metal recycling center that we run, and it was brought to me because it had a melted wiring harness underneath the hood. What had happened was the starter solenoid had hung up and melted the wiring harness for the hood, or under the hood. From these Ford trucks have a starter relay on the firewall right here. They are not starter mounted, they're up here. And that wiring, the solenoid had stuck open, or stuck closed, and was continuing the loop, and the starter just kept cranking and cranking and cranking, and they couldn't get it to stop, and it melted the wiring from here across to the headlights, up this way, through here, all the way up to the plug-in on the firewall, and stopped. It didn't melt anything inside the dash or to the ignition. It just melted this front portion of wiring harness across the truck. So I was able to get a new wiring harness from a donor truck that we had at work, swap it out, and she ran like a Swiss watch in a blender. I say that because it's got a couple little quirks here and there, such as on cold mornings it's got a stumbly idle. Sometimes when you're going down the road it kind of stutters a little bit, and then it picks back up and it takes off. Usually once it runs for a couple minutes it's fine. If you try to jump in it and take right off, it's got like a choppy idle to it. But hey, it's an old Ford truck. They've all got character. Isn't that what they call it when you can't figure out what's wrong? Character? So speaking of character that this truck has, I'm doing like a semi-restoration on it, I guess. I have yet to paint the hub covers or center caps for the rims. It does have these beautiful bullet hole wheels on it. These were on the truck when I purchased it. As you can see there, it has manual hubs because yes, it is four-wheel drive. We are running 15-inch Pathmaker HT Le Mans tires. They're not the greatest tires off-road or anything. I'm assuming that being a Pathmaker HT, they're kind of like an all-terrain, but they are definitely more road-friendly than anything. Off-road, if you put it in four-wheel drive, it'll go where you want to, but other than that, they're just decent, I guess, tires in general. Once again, on the truck, when I purchased it, we just cleaned them up. I cleaned up the aluminum wheels. I'm going to paint these center caps black to make them look better again. I also did have to replace this plastic engagement for the hub. This one was broken off. It was just a little screw and a little piece of plastic left. So I found another one, swapped them out. All you have to do is take off that Phillips head screw. This pops out, you pop a new one in, tighten it up, and you're back on the road. Another thing is, I mentioned that this truck was an STX package, and what that means is, from what I can gather by reading online, now this isn't always entirely true, so this is just what I've understood and what I've seen by looking at other STX model Rangers. They had nicer wheels. For example, this one has aluminum wheels, and from what I can gather, these are factory to the truck. It has a bull bar on the front, but it was missing when I got it, so I had to find another bull bar to go on the front. It's got the really cool looking mirrors. I like these. These are the older Ford style, like big boy truck mirrors. They aren't polished or anything, and that's black and it's faded, so I need to hit those with some paint and polish the chrome up on it. It has black door handles. It has these, I like it, someone may not, but I like it. It has these black speed stripes up the side of the truck, which God knows doesn't make it any faster. I did add the black diamond plate toolbox to the truck because I really wanted the toolbox. I think that's what makes your truck right there, is a toolbox, and boom, it looks great. The bed has some little dimples and dings all down the side of it right here that you can't really notice because I'm parked in a nice shady area, but you can see if you look really close. It looks like someone tried to bang that out with a ball peen hammer, but it's whatever. This center cap is nice and shiny because when I got the truck, the back ones were missing. It just had center caps on the front. So I went and found center caps for the rear wheels. And there you go. This one is also in good shape. Stripes are in pretty good shape all the way down the truck. Silver is the factory color on this truck, by the way. The Ranger badges are black. I don't know if that's how they're supposed to be for an STX or not, but that's how I received the truck. So, as I did mention, it has character, including these dents right here in this fender that looks like they were popped out, and this whole fender looks like it was rattle bombed, and maybe the hood was touched up with some silver rattle bomb because it doesn't all blend in quite like it should. The fog lights that we added came off of a Land Rover Discovery that we had. They are Hella lights, H-E-L-L-A. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. It's got the egg crate grill in it, blue Ford logo that you can't really see because the bull bar covers it up. But it's a sharp looking truck. I will tell you something else I want to find though, guys. I want to find the rooftop visor. And if you know what I'm talking about, these late model Ranger trucks, it was super, I guess, common to find on practice in the 80s. You could get this visor that stuck out. Came out not very far, probably about right here or so. It slanted back, it had air channels in it to let the air curve through, and then a lot of the times they had running lights across the top. I was always a big fan of that, and I would very much like to find one of those. Another thing is it has a diamond plate top step bumper on it. I'm assuming this is the STX thing again, and then red Ford letters across the tailgate. Now, I do not have a reese hitch on this truck. I just have ball hitches, and the reason for that is because I can't fit a reese hitch on the truck because this truck has dual exhaust. Now, I know the dual exhaust is not factory. It had aftermarket exhaust on it when I bought it, but it was all rotten and falling off. So I did the dual exhaust on it, and I did a very big mistake because I was trying to keep this on a budget, and when I did it myself, I couldn't afford new piping, and I couldn't afford catalytic converters, and I couldn't afford new mufflers and stuff. I wanted to keep it super cheap. So I was like, I will just straight pipe it. Now, straight pipe to me means no muffler, no resonator, no catalytic converter, just exhaust, just piping from the headers all the way back. If you have a catalytic converter on your truck and you cut the muffler off, that's not a straight pipe, that's cat back. If you have a catalytic converter and a muffler and you delete the cat and leave the muffler, that's not a straight pipe, that's a cat delete. Anything that takes off just one piece is just a delete. You're just removing something. You're just taking something off. Straight pipes is when you have nothing. I have piping, which is, you can't see it. I have piping. Where is it? Right there it is. It goes into a flange. It goes above that. It runs down through here, it runs out there across some ugly booger welds that I did. It runs all the way out the back into a Y and then comes out behind the bed. It is straight piped. It is true straight pipes, and it is stupid loud between the 26 to 3,000 RPM range. The rest of the time is kind of bearable, but you get a really bad drone between 2,600 and 3,000 RPMs. We'll look inside the truck real quick to keep you guys updated. This is just a work truck. The whole purpose of this was to just have a cheap work truck. I didn't want something that was perfect, that I would be afraid to get dirty or afraid to overwork or beat up. So this truck worked out great. It has manual windows. got the old school crank windows. It's got manual locks. It's got the smoker windows. They divert air in when you're going down the road. It catches the air and forces it into the truck. And let me tell you, it's a very, very strong breeze if you're going at a good rate of speed. Also, it didn't have floor mats in it when I bought it, and the best looking set I could cobble up through my floor mat collection was a set from an old Land Cruiser. The glove box is missing the bolts across the bottom, so if I open it, it kind of falls and it's a pain to put back in. This truck had the premium sound system in it. I've got speakers up here on both sides, and then we've also got speakers there and there. Another cool thing about the truck, it has the cargo cover that pulls out to cover your cargo. Exactly what it sounds like. I am missing the plastic trim that runs along this back piece. I'm not sure why it was removed, but it's gone. There's also supposed to be a box that would have mounted right here, and I'm not sure what it did. Maybe held spare tire parts, but it's also gone, and so I'm looking for one of those. I do have the optional sliding rear window, and I've got the fold out seats. These are, I guess they call jump seats. Move all my crap. But they fold out just like that, and a very small person can sit there uncomfortably. But that's what those are. Now I added these, some will call them gaudy, camouflage seat covers. Jesse had them in one of his Jeeps, got rid of the Jeep, kept the seat covers. I put them in here specifically because when I leave work in the afternoon, I've got grease and dirt and mud all over my jeans, all over my boots, the back of my butt, my shirt, and the seats in this truck are in very, very good condition. Both sides are just flawless, and I really wanted to keep them that way. So I put these ugly seat covers on them to protect the original fabric up underneath there from getting stained. So, and it's working out well. This truck also has functioning power lumbar on manual seats. The seats have manual adjustments here and here, but it has power lumbar on both sides. You got a little storage pocket here. We'll go to this side now. Same pockets over here. Once again, power lumbar on manual seats. My headlight knob is gone. It fell off. I haven't got another one yet, but the lights work just fine. I also have intermittent windshield wipers, which I thought was bizarre. You have low and, well, you have intermittent, low, and high. But you can adjust the intermittent speed of the wipers. If you turn on its first setting and move the end of this stalk like so, you actually get more variable time, or more delay between the intermittent sweep. And I didn't even know that for like the first 2 months I had the truck, and it wasn't until I moved it one day and it accidentally went like that, and I thought I broke it. I mean, I know it clearly says it, but I don't know. Something didn't register in my brain. That is too cool. A truck with this little option, and yet I have intermittent wipers. This truck features the terrible, what is this, the 4LD overdrive automatic transmission, and overdrive is messed up in the truck. It does not have it. It shifts through the other 3 gears just fine, but there is no overdrive. So if you drive around town and you do 45 to 55, you know, it's perfectly fine. Most of the places where I go and live and work, it's 35 to 45 mile an hour top speed limits, so the truck works out great for me. Now, if I had to go on a longer drive, it probably wouldn't be so great on fuel, and it probably wouldn't be that great for the engine. However, for this truck, and the whole purpose that I use it for, works out great. Eventually, I would like to pull this trans out. I have a 4-speed manual transmission I would like to put in the truck, and swap it, of course, to a 4-speed manual with full drive. But as of right now, this transmission's working fine. I'm just going to leave it alone until it finally goes. No airbag, but it does have a horn right there. This truck does not have air conditioning. I'm assuming that it did factory because we have a button for it, but compressor and the lines and the box and the condenser and all that stuff has long since bit the dust and is gone. So, it's okay. I've got the cool smoker vent windows to help me out, and they work out just fine. Let's see if I can dig the keys out of my pocket, which I should have just left in the switch, and we'll start this truck up. Too much noise because we are in a public area, but like I said, it'll get really loud if you want it to. Go up here and check out the engine real quick. I haven't cleaned anything under the engine bay. It's pretty much the way I got it. I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to leak or pour anything out. We have an aftermarket transmission cooler down here, and another reason for the aftermarket cooler is because this truck has a replacement transmission in it. I know this because it's super clean. There's a tag on the side of it with the date that it was remanufactured, and they don't come with these big coolers right here. Someone added this. You can sell a hose clamp and stuff too. So maybe when they rebuilt it, they didn't put something in there right for the overdrive, or maybe they just didn't get overdrive to work at all. I don't know. The truck moves. We're going to leave it that way until I swap it to a stick. I'm assuming this is probably a replacement radiator at some point. There's no stickers left on it. It doesn't leak any oil. It doesn't really burn any oil. It doesn't lose coolant. There's a bunch of wire connectors on stuff that everybody says I need to get rid of, because why in the world would I put wire butt connectors on a automotive use? But hey, whatever, it works. Like I said, it's just been a little like a redneck restoration project truck for me, and it's been a whole lot of fun doing it. As I mentioned before, and will again I'm sure, because I can't remember everything I say because I have a one-track mind, this truck is my daily driver. I daily this truck everywhere. And I have driven it some farther distances, 45 minutes to an hour away, although at a much lower rate of speed, and it does not like the interstate, but that's okay. We can avoid that because I have my little Toyota, and I also have an Acura that I daily drive. So those two are my long-haul cars. This is a truck, because everybody needs a truck. So I'm gonna jump in the truck now, and we're gonna take you on a short little drive, and I'll let you see what you think about it. I can't guarantee that this is gonna be smooth whatsoever. In fact, I can already tell it's probably not gonna be. I'll do my best to keep you guys centered as we make a little lap around, but just bear with me. There's the camper that was making noise behind me. No fault to him, as I mentioned, public place. I did not have my door closed all the way. Go figure, right? And in case you're wondering about filming location, this is the park behind my house. I live on a lake. And there's the lake off to your left that you barely can't see because of the woods. But that's it over there. Trying to be nice and delicate on the throttle. out of here, I'll give her some beans. Let's see how it does. Alright. I believe I've got a clear shot. This will not be wide open throttle. We're just going to listen to the really loud rumbly exhaust. Silverado pull out in front of me. That seems legit. Folks, so this is going to end the video on my Ford Ranger STX. I hope you all enjoy. We thank you for watching. Drop a comment down below and let us know what you think. I hope I answered most of your questions about the truck. Once again, I'm going to continue to daily drive this truck for as long as it will allow me to. I really enjoy it. There will be there's a few small repairs that will be coming up here shortly. One of which is going to be 4 new shocks all the way around. They are about completely destroyed, in case you can't tell by the bouncy ride. I might go back and do something else about that exhaust. I'm thinking I'm going to have to put some type of muffler on it. It's just a little bit too loud. Other than that, I absolutely love this truck. This truck is awesome. I think it looks good. It doesn't necessarily sound good, but it looks good. This is my favorite body style of the Rangers to date. And yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, well, button's right down there. Go ahead and hit that to follow us and get notifications when we upload more awesome stuff. Guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And that's our wrap.